This is lesson number 14. I really blew it on this one. Lesson 14. Men, your wife's complaint is not the problem. A quote by David Didia. Masculine anger is always because we're feeling constrained and trapped by life. Feminine anger is always because you are feeling unloved. Courtney was the queen of recycling. With the efficiency of a drug-detecting police canine, Courtney would search through our kitchen trash can in pursuit of items I'd thrown away that were actually recyclable. Greg, I can't believe you'd throw this away. You can recycle this, she would exclaim. And so for a few days, I would pay very careful attention to what I would normally toss in the garbage. But inevitably, she'd catch me in the act again. This would lead to some serious arguments. I learned the hard way that Courtney's complaint about my recycling capabilities was not the problem. Courtney felt unloved. In a marriage or any relationship, it can be easy to mistake your wife's complaint for the actual underlying issue, which always happens to be the same. Your wife does not feel you are loving her to the very best of your ability. Now, she may not realize this consciously, and so she expresses her lack of feeling loved in surface ways that she hopes you will attempt to correct. However, even if corrected at the surface level, the deep root of the problem will continue to grow and expose itself in other ways. Now, here's the good news. You have the power in your marriage to turn complaints into opportunities to give unconditional, penetrating, and unwavering love. Men, develop the awareness to the very real possibility that your wife's complaints, nagging behaviors, and harping tendencies are the result of your failure to deeply love her. Take responsibility for this fact, and instead of simply trimming back the weeds in your marriage, pull out the root of the problem and then plant a seed of love. Lesson 14, action steps. Intuition is a skill that law enforcement officers strive for on the street. As a team leader on a search warrant for a wanted felon in Santa Cruz many years ago, I had just finished searching a bedroom and I was about to shout, "All clear!" Suddenly, a burning sensation rushed through my body and the hair on my arm stood straight up. Somehow, I intuitively knew the suspect was in the closet that I had just finished clearing. I drew my trusty Glock sidearm and went back into the bedroom. Looking more closely at the interior of the closet, I realized that two boards were not flush with each other. Pressing on one board, it started to open. I looked down and I saw a pair of shoes in the exposed crack. The suspect, that son of a gun, he had fabricated a small, well-constructed hiding space. I said, "Get out of there!" And I arrested him. Now, just like modern-day warriors or police officers on the street, we can learn to be intuitive to our wife's feelings and thus respond to them in a compassionate and loving way. Is your wife in a job that she routinely complains about? Is she not physically exercising to the best of her potential? Does she compare herself to other women she thinks way less than her? Guys, these are all opportunities for you to use your intuition to see beyond the surface of your wife's statements and feelings and help her feel cherished, unconditionally loved, and supported. See through the surface problems in your marriage and use the strength of your mind and body to lift your wife up to a place of beauty, tenderness, affection, and joy. Consider the following questions. What is your wife complaining about? Do you neglect to take the trash out, recycle those cans, or put the toilet seat down? Or clean the toilet? Well, develop the insight to understand that these are not the real problems. Your wife feels unloved. Immediately correct the surface problem and then get to work on the more important issue of loving your wife to the best of your ability. Number 2, to develop intuition, we have to ask ourselves the right questions. Rather than asking, is this something I should recycle? I should have asked, am I loving Courtney to the best of my ability? Our intuition, which is our heart talking to us, will always tell us the correct answer. Are you asking the right questions in your relationship? Number 3, can you learn to use affection, humor, and spontaneity to pattern interrupt negativity in your marriage? During arguments in a marriage or relationship, the problem which kick things off is like a giant snowball that has the power to create unstoppable momentum. Well, one way to solve the surface problem is to pattern interrupt the normal sequence of events. Rather than countering a point your wife makes, which is a reaction she would expect and something that normally takes place, interrupt your routine and substitute something completely off the wall and outrageous. Kiss your wife or lick her neck. Gently spank her or spank yourself. Do a jumping jack or a handstand. Do anything you can to interrupt the sequence of events that would normally unfold if you continue to argue. This unexpected change leads to humor, laughter, and it helps soften the rough edges of both you and your wife. The pattern interrupt also gives you the space you need to get busy with what's most important, being an awesome husband and lover.